Hi, everyone. Good evening. You all look beautiful. I want to welcome everyone to the Active Conscious Training Leadership Graduation. Let me just start with my name first. That'd be nice. My name is Akua Menzedu, and I'm a project associate for the Buffalo Niagara Medical Campus. And we are very excited to be here with our lovely graduates of the program. For us, this started with an implementation of the 4 Neighborhoods, 1 Community initiative. And that started in about 2009, where BNMC representatives went out to the communities and asked what was a goal of each community. And unification was one that came out of the Fruit Belt. So we're really excited to continue and build this relationship with the communities. And we actually have some lovely graduates in front of us that have gone through a long, enduring program. We've had about over 20 sessions. So it happened in the nighttime, after work, on Saturdays, after some coffee for some of them. But we are really excited to actually celebrate these individuals in front of us today. I want to introduce Alex Wright, who is someone who was, after a few cups of coffee, was okay on Saturdays. So we're going to have him come up and speak. Thank you.
After a few cups is putting it nicely. My name is Alexander Wright, and I'm proud to be a member of the Orchard Community Initiative, is what we named ourselves. I'm also the executive director of Urban Christian Ministries. And I think I speak for OCI when I would like to thank Linwood Roberts from the UB's Office of Government and Community Relations. We'd also like to thank Suzanne Chambers from the Office of Economic Development for putting the trainings and the mentoring sessions together. We would like to thank Lori Miller from Developing Professionals, Akua Menzedu from the Buffalo Niagara Medical Campus for all of her help and her support. And thank you to all the dignitaries who took out of their busy schedules to be here. We really appreciate you. The OCI, Orchard Community Initiative, is a group of individuals in the Fruit Belt that either have a direct or vested interest. There are residents, business owners, nonprofits, and various associations at the table. Basically, we acknowledge that although we were doing good work individually, what we could accomplish together would be great. And we have compiled a group that has taken everyone's interests into account. So if something comes to the table from the point of view of business, because residents are there and their vote counts just as much as the business owner, their voice is heard. No one group or one interest can unilaterally make a decision. We are forced in OCI to take a holistic approach to problem solving. And this is a heavy job. And to do any job, one must have the appropriate tools, which UB provided for us by way of the training that we received here. And this is another reason that I'm proud of our group and the precedent that we're setting. Because in order to learn anything, you must first admit that you don't know it, or you could be better at it. And I'm glad we came into this with a humble heart, because I believe that we all learned a lot. Now, the training did not teach us to be leaders, because we already were. But it did help us to become better leaders, to be more efficient, to compromise, and to plan strategically. In closing, I appreciate UB's hands-off approach. Right? Now, what I mean by that is that the members of OCI make the decisions concerning our focus and where we're headed and what we're going to do. Many times people from the outside come in and try to tell you what your community needs, but this was not the case with this endeavor, and we appreciated it. And therefore, classmates, we have a great responsibility to ourselves, each other, and those we represent, because the success and failure of our future endeavors rests squarely upon our shoulders. Thank you.
Okay, next up, we are going to have Linwood Roberts of UB's Government and Community Relations come up and say a few words.
Thank you very much. I'm very tall, and this is kind of crazy to see, so if I don't speak to the microphone, you know I'm loud enough that I don't need it. First of all, let me just stay in the tradition and stay with the mode that we're in today that Alex kind of started. Hands off. I'm gonna stay hands off on this as we move forward with this program, so I'm not gonna be long. But what I will want to say is I want to thank you all 24 of you, all the 40 that came, all the residents. Why? Because you gave me the greatest gift that anyone can give. You gave each other the greatest gift that anyone can give, which is time. You gave each other all of your time, commitment, and effort. As leaders representing the community, amongst yourselves, you kind of had to work through some growing pains to work together. But I was at every session, and I enjoyed seeing how you grew. So for that, thank you. The university is very, very happy to have partners such as you. Continue to be the leaders you are, and the resources that you need from other outside the university, outside the neighborhood, bring them into your neighborhood, okay? Continue to build those relationships that you already started to build. And if you need any help, any assistance, you know I'm not going anywhere. I'm right here. I'm a phone call, email, text message away. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of the program.
I should have wore some flats. I didn't know I was going to be running back and forth from the seat. Next up, we want to bring up someone who's been very instrumental in helping this group along, and that is Suzanne Chamberlain, who's the Senior Director of the UB Office of Economic Development.
Now, most of you don't know, but this group in the middle gets a little nervous when I get near the microphone because they think I'm going to make them put down their coffee and get up and do another exercise. But they told me I couldn't do that tonight, so no exercises, guys. You get to keep your coffee. I do want to say that I work in the Office of Economic Development. I work with a lot of entrepreneurs. And while some of these folks here are truly business owners, they are all entrepreneurs in the sense of being dedicated, passionate, striving for what they wanted to do. And as Linwood indicated, they met and met and met. We started before the holidays, we're meeting after graduation, and that's because they feel like they haven't finished doing what they wanted to do. And I appreciate that. And I also want to tell them that I'm very honored that they let me be a part of it, that they were willing to challenge themselves and me, which is great, and also willing to participate in the discussions and the serious and challenging discussions and trying to figure out how they could work together. And so I appreciate it, and I'm honored and grateful for all of you that came week after week. Thank you.
Okay, so next up, we're going to show a video that we did during the whole training process and mentor process, and this will give you a really good sense of what meetings were like for all of us and what the mentor meetings were like for all of us. So before we get into the video, I want to bring up the Executive Director of Leadership Buffalo, and that is Althea Larson.
Thank you. I'll be brief as well. First of all, I'd like to congratulate all the graduates tonight. You have to be very proud of yourselves for putting in all the work and completing this program. Give yourselves a round of applause. This is especially meaningful for me tonight because I actually am a former employee of the University of Buffalo. I just left there about a year ago to take over Leadership Buffalo. And I remember conversations that I was having with Linwood and some of my colleagues to launch this program many years ago. Part of my role at UB was I ran the Center for Entrepreneurial Leadership. So I applaud you, and I applaud Linwood and Suzanne and everyone else who had did the initiative to make this thing happen. So great job to all of you. So give yourselves, Linwood, Suzanne, a round of applause. Leadership Buffalo, I'll be very brief. Basically, our mission is to make Buffalo better. And how we do that is by working with the community and integrating ourselves into the community to learn about the critical issues that face us in Western New York. But more importantly, to find ways that we can do something about it. Again, to make Buffalo better. So our role here in this organization and working with the OCI is to really help you to get ahead and to move your organizations forward, whether they're businesses or non-for-profit community organizations. We work with everybody in Western New York. We represent everybody in Western New York. We have people from large corporations, we have folks from entrepreneurial companies, we have nonprofits, both large and small, and we have civic, public, education, and all sorts of people in Western New York. The reason we're here is because Leadership Buffalo is providing scholarship dollars to help support you to go through our program now that you've graduated from here. Linwood will work out the details with everybody on this. But the reason we're doing that is because Leadership Buffalo wants to make sure that everybody has a voice. Many people that are in our community need to go through our program so that they can integrate and they can work with the rest of Western New York to make Buffalo better. So in order for you to have that voice, we want to help you provide the financial resources to do so. So I'm looking forward to having some of you go through my program in 2014. There is a process involved. Again, Linwood will be involved in that. But again, congratulations to all of you, and I look forward to working with you as we move into the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Althea. Okay, so next we're going to show the video, and this will give you a sense of exactly what happened in the program.
All in the community, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Well, my family initially moved in the Fruit Belt in the early 50s. When neighborhoods change, there's always this high point and low points. I prefer to think about the higher points, things that I learned about how to be a good neighbor.
It's a historic neighborhood, probably one of the oldest neighborhoods within the Western New York community, but it's also one of the most underserved communities.
You're gonna color these in, and then are you gonna write something? Our youth need character building, and mentoring. We do that. They also need homework help. And what we wanna make sure is that our kids don't just have a faith base. They can actually be employed. They can give back to their community.
The Buffalo Niagara Medical Campus has known from its inception that it needed to and it wanted to engage with its surrounding communities. They knew that they wanted to have a dialogue with them on substantive issues that would relate to both of them. Areas like jobs, housing, public access, streetscaping, artwork, all of those became grist for positive discussions that I think a real partnership has forged.
My father purchased this business in 1960. And that was when it was a lot of employment here. When you see a lot of development, that means dollars, and to me it means progress, and I just wouldn't like to see us left out of it.
Now that we have a structure, we have a process, how do we effectively facilitate dialogue? So if you turn to page 20 in your participant workbook,
The program itself is actually helping these leaders develop different leadership traits, some from things simple as how to hold an effective meeting, budgeting, how to engage major institutions such as BNMC, UB. So we give them professional training classes, 8 weeks, 8 classes, and then we also have a mentor that helps them kind of move through the process, learn to work together.
When you're with groups and when you build trust and faith, you have to sometimes live through your embarrassment and your vulnerability. So we're going to practice today, okay?
You have one group who's a good group, but they're working by themselves. Another group who's a good group, they're working by themselves. We're all working in these silos. If we work together, we can do more and really help all of the people in the Fruit Belt. And I think this leadership group is showing us that.
And as part of this program, they get, as a group, $7,500 to spend toward a project that will benefit the neighborhood. And as you can imagine, with a group of at least 18 to 20 people every time, we get quite a lot of different opinions. Now, the next challenge is goals. And I think what we ought to do is generate lots of goals and then select. How's that?
It's a work in progress. We have to learn that we can't always have our way.
As we're sitting down and we're throwing out different ideas, and we're also learning to trust one another and to say, okay, you want to do the same thing I want to do. Why not do this together and pool resources?
What I hope to get out of the training that I didn't have before is a sense of stability, just to bridge that gap, so to speak, with the other side of Main Street and coming over to this side.
We like to have people from every aspect of Western New York. Some of them will not be able to afford to go through our programs without a scholarship. What we can do is help introduce them to the other people in our network and make sure that they can grow and they can prosper and they can expand their networks to be successful.
The medical campus has a great potential to bridge the city of Buffalo. Not just the Fruit Belt, but the entire Western New York area.
Our selfish interest is when we need to communicate to that neighborhood, we'll have a body of representatives that fairly represents that community. So on one end, we're building leaders. On the other end, we're building partners that we can work with moving forward.
Okay, so we have a few honored guests and elected officials with us today. And unfortunately, the mayor was not able to make it, but he did send proclamations and certificates for the group. So I'm going to have Linwood come up and read the proclamation.
I'll be your acting mayor today. And we're going to read a proclamation that the Mayor Brown forwarded to you all, okay? It's the City of Buffalo Executive Chamber Proclamation. Whereas Active Conscious Communities Training, also known as ACT, Fruit Belt Leadership Program commenced in November of 2012. And whereas sponsored by the Buffalo Niagara Medical Campus, the program serves to provide both professional leadership training to community members as well as mentorship in the process of working together as one united community. Whereas more than 40 residents and leaders of the Fruit Belt community started the program, and a core team of 24 soon emerged and is now set to graduate. And whereas they formed what is now known as Orchard Community Initiative, and this core group of Fruit Belt leaders is working not only to represent the community at large, but also to understand and address the greater needs and challenges faced by the neighborhood. And whereas a grant of $7,500 awarded to the OCI for successful completion of the program will be utilized in part for their first major undertaking, a symbolic Fruit Belt event that serves to unite the neighborhood, build relations with neighboring institutions and organizations, and serve as an opportunity to raise funds for their organization. And whereas the Orchard Community Initiative mission is to create a better quality of life for all Fruit Belt residents by providing a collective community environment to be established for and by the residents and those with a vested interest in the Fruit Belt community. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, the Mayor of Buffalo, New York, City of Buffalo, do hereby proclaim March 27, 2013 as Orchard Community Initiative Day in the City of Buffalo, blah, blah, blah. So today is your day. I'm going to leave this here. We're going to have a little wrestling match to see who's going to hold this, I guess. We'll figure out. I believe we do have a home for it, and we'll discuss that. And we do have other certificates that's going to follow as well.
Thank you. Okay, next we're going to bring up a president of a school I'm a graduate of. That is president of the University at Buffalo, Satish Tripathi.
I'm not that tall, as Lenny is. Good evening, and it is really truly a great pleasure to be here with you tonight for this celebration. I was watching the video and listening to the speakers before, and I thought that when I took my first leadership position a long time ago, I wish I had a program like this. I had to learn just on the job, and so it was really tough, and also you don't learn all the things you need to learn when you're learning on jobs. So this is really a great opportunity for you, and I'm really glad that 24 of you are so successful, and you have set the bar very high for the next class to come. Your leadership in the field you represent, business, industry, healthcare, education, and beyond will provide the foundation for a strong and vibrant future for our city and region. And your commitment and leadership will be a tremendous model for future participants who will follow your footsteps. Your dedication to contributing to the strength and vitality of your community resonates very strongly with UB's mission as a public research university. Through our strategic vision UB 2020, we are actively pursuing three vital and closely connected objectives. Number one, enhance educational and research activities. Number two, improved quality of life for the communities we serve. And number three, creation of a strong innovation economy for our region and state, and enhancing community access to the economic opportunities that come with it. This program is an outstanding example of all these goals in action, and it serves to illustrate that building sustainable, empowered communities is very much a collaborative endeavor. We all have a stake in the well-being of our communities, and we all have a role to play in ensuring the economic, social, and cultural vitalities of all our communities. UB takes this commitment very seriously, and pursuing this vision in partnership with our neighbors, government, community, and business leaders is a core principle of our long-range vision for our expanding downtown presence and for all three of our campuses, North, South, and downtown. I want to thank all of the community partners here today who join us in this effort. Our elected leaders in our city, region, and state, community and neighborhood leaders, partners in healthcare, business, and industry who are helping to build a stronger, healthier, and vibrant community. To all the OCI members we recognize today, thank you for the inspiring model you provide as the inaugural graduates of this program and as the future leaders who will guide Buffalo to even greater heights, the excellence in the 21st century. Your achievements and your dedication have laid the foundation for what will surely be a strong and thriving program, and the cornerstone of continued growth and revitalization for Buffalo and Western New York. UB looks forward to continuing partnering with you and the community leaders represented in this room in building a brighter future for our city and region. Thank you and congratulations again.
Okay, and unfortunately for us all, but fortunately at the same time, our next two speakers are actually in Albany working on our budget, so they have to do the good work that they're. Okay, so next we're going to actually bring up a good friend of ours here at the medical campus and someone who was here from the beginning at the kickoff, and that is Ellicott District Common Council member Darius Pridgen.
Well, I'm really glad to be here for two reasons. One is because I love how short the program is. And really, because I think this is a great day when leaders get together. Your next assignment is this. I have a new assignment for you. And that is to stop the rumor that Linwood Roberts is running for mayor. So I'm going to take just a piece of that clip where he says, "I am the mayor," and put it all over YouTube. I just recently finished paying off a very expensive piece of property that I was influenced to buy. And this is the truth. I was in council chambers about a year ago. A gentleman came to me, said, "I've got this property I want to sell." He's a salesman. And it was at Forest Lawn. And it is in a place, I believe the place is Birchwood or something, and it's a mausoleum. And he said, I can get you into. I didn't want to go soon. So when he talked about I could get you in, at a real inexpensive price this week, I thought if I pay it off, am I going to be in there this week? And he said, I can get you in. We got a special, and I signed the contract for my final resting place, and what made me actually sign this contract was we were standing in the mausoleum, and he says to me, "Turn around and look to your left," and he said, "That's your next door neighbor," and when I turned to look to my left, It is actually the place where Shirley Chisholm is buried or is entombed. And I said to him, wow, and it's directly across. And he said, I thought you would appreciate that. And I said, well, I would appreciate it more if we were both alive, but I understood what he meant. If you don't know anything about Shirley Chisholm, one of the first African Americans ever, if not the, to talk about running for president of the United States, a leader who came through Buffalo, a leader who was actually, I believe, buried out of St. John. Put a book out, and 2 words I remember Shirley always, when I researched her as growing up and doing my degree work, unbought and unbossed. Because what we're here today, and I'm so thankful to the president of UB and for UB and everybody else, but right now, it's all about you. At the end of the day, leadership is the art of influence. It is, when you leave here, how do I influence others to get done what I need to get done for my community and for the betterment of my life? And it can't happen if you're bossed and not the boss. And when I say that, I don't mean that you can't be told anything, you can't be taught anything. But it means in your convictions, you can't sway every way all the time. There has to be somebody in our community who stands up for what's right, who looks around and says, if education isn't good enough, I'm not going to be bossed. I'm going to make sure my children are educated and other people's children are educated. If unemployment is too high, somebody has to stand up and say, I will not be swayed. I'm going to work until it changes. If crime is high in your neighborhood, somebody has to say, I'm not going to let drug dealer or any other dealer move me off of what I believe. And then finally, unbought. Leaders, and I've been on the council now 2 years. The first experience I had was with this when I passed the license for some establishment. And the people came to my office and they dropped off an envelope. And this is the truth. And they said to my secretary, have the council member put this in his campaign fund. And we opened it and it was 500 $1 bills. No, nothing attached. And I said to the secretary and one of my office staff, 2 of my office staff are here now. I said, walk it back to him, walk to his business, knock on the door, put it in his hand and take a witness and say to him, I'm not for sale. Leaders should not be for sale. Now take the money, by the way, they're giving you. Yeah. That's not selling you. That's not a price for your leadership. It's a price to help you to do the work that must be done. If you keep those 2 thoughts in your mind, the fruit belt will be better. Our neighborhoods will be better. Our city will be better. Let me share with you, when I did my master's, one of the books I read was called Leader to Leader. And it talked about the obstacles to progress in a city. And the first obstacle was fragmentation is the rule in most cities. As long as people are not working together, then society can do whatever they want to with your community. So again, I'm thankful for UB and for all who have participated to bring people together who are unbought and unbossed. Thank you very much.
And next, we'd actually like to give the floor to Erie County Legislator Tim Hoax, who's also with us today.
Someone does not like me. Every time that myself and Councilmember Pridgen are together, they put me on after Councilmember Pridgen. They know that he is a pastor and he knows how to work the crowd. No. But no, I appreciate the words that he said. I'm honored to be here, and I'd like to congratulate each and every one of you for the commitment and dedication that you have put forth. And along the same lines, if we think about the concept, it seems like a simple and no-brainer concept. So if we look at sports, basketball, you have 5 individuals that have to play positions, but they have to communicate and work together in order to obtain the ultimate goal of winning the championship. In football, you have 11 players on the field at the same time, communicating, working together, passing signals along. So in the community, it should be no different. And so we have different leaders in different spaces with different ideas and different initiatives. But in the end, we're all trying to do the same thing, make sure that our community is the best that it can be, that the children in our community have the best opportunity at education and growing up and enjoying themselves. And I was just talking to my children the other day, and I had to apologize to them. I live in the Fruit Belt. And the reason why I didn't apologize because we live in the Fruit Belt. The reason why I apologized is I told them growing up, I used to play on the street till the street lights came up. My parents knew I was just outside, but they knew. And they didn't worry because each and every neighbor knew each other. And so what is starting to happen, and hopefully we'll start reversing that trend, but we have a house, and then we have an abandoned house, and then we have another house and structures. And so that community concept has been slowly deteriorating. But I see today that there has been a group of individuals that say, nope, we're not going to continue to allow that to happen. We live in the Fruit Belt. We've been in the Fruit Belt. We're proud of where we live, and so we have a voice. And so 2 things have happened with this class graduating. 1, you've made my job and Councilmember Pridgen's job a lot easier. 2, you've made our job more difficult. Because now you're going to demand more, which should happen. And so we are excited to represent you. We are excited to come alongside you and work together to make sure that whatever you can dream of, whatever we can work together to make happen, that's what we'll do. So I appreciate being here, and I congratulate each and every one of you and look forward to the great things that you have to do.
Maybe you should tell the bills. Why don't you tell the bills to go through the leadership?
Oh, and I too am a graduate of UB.
Okay, next we're going to bring up 2 of our graduates, and that is Zaid Islam and Frida Joyce to give a few remarks. Come on up, don't be shy.
Hello, everyone. I'd just like to say that this has been a wonderful experience for me. Oh, now you can hear me? Okay, I'd just like to say to everyone that going through this training has been a wonderful experience for me. I got interested in it because I get the alumni magazine from UB, and it was an open invitation to anyone in the community that wanted to join. And I called, and Yvette was very graceful over the telephone. And when I came, I met some wonderful people that are now part of my network, and that I hope to grow with, and that we continue the work that it is in front of us. I read somewhere a few years ago that something that has helped me is that faith makes things possible, not easy. So as we go forward, I hope that we all can remember that. And I guess I kind of live it every day, being a business owner, and holding on to it in the business that I am in, and standing my ground and not accepting anything less than what is respectful to me. And now I will let Zaid. And also UB has been a big help to me since I came back to Buffalo. I opened up my business in 2004, and I went through the entrepreneurial leadership program in 2005, and that gave me the strength to continue on to get to here today. And now, after completing another program with UB, I do look forward to a bright future.
Good evening. I want to thank everyone that's participating in this great program. And I had said that I was going to keep my remarks short, and I'm going to do that. It's been an experience, and I tend to look at the Fruit Belt as a phoenix bird. You know, the phoenix bird, the legend says that the phoenix bird comes back to life after the fire and the ashes, and it rises up from that. And what I've been hearing is folks saying the Fruit Belt is on the rise again. However, with this phoenix bird, there's something very unique about it. It decides when it wants to rise. And generally it rises from the ashes. Now, when you study ashes, they are from the common earth or the common ground. And what we have here is leadership that's in touch with the residents of the Fruit Belt, which before, mainly the residents didn't have a say-so. But today we're finding that the leadership within the Fruit Belt is speaking to each other and talking to each other and communicating as we've been told. Now this is marvelous to me. Now, along this course of training we've gotten to know to trust one another. We learned that we're not so different in our goals and aspirations. And one of the key things I found is that our fears have been kind of set aside. And I like to look at fears as false emotions appearing real. And I think we have finally got the vision, a collective vision, that we are going to rise and we're going to be successful in our mission. And whatever program we decide to do with the 7,500, it's going to be a united front. It's not going to be an individual front, but it's going to be a collective. And I thank you for giving us this opportunity.
Okay, next we actually are going to honor our graduates, and we have some certificates. So we're going to ask some of the electeds and honorable guests to come up.
If you ever watched the Smurfs, which is one of my favorite cartoons, they used to put the fires out by having a whole line and a bucket would go through. Yeah. So it was like that. We're going to do a little Smurf line, starting with Miss Ada. You're going to walk straight up here.
Do I have to do the dance too?
No, but that would be extra credit.
You do have to do the dance.
And you'll get extra points for that. All right, so if you can come on up. As a matter of fact, stand up. Come on along. You can come on right behind her.
I can't walk this way. I gotta walk this
Carmen,
way.
you're going to go behind her.
You have to walk on the stage.
Go right across.
On the stage.
Right across. You get another one, Ada. Ada.
All of them?
Yes.
This is quite an accomplishment.
Yes, it is. Yep, of course I did. Yep.
I got it.
Thank you. Congratulations, everyone.
Look, I'm trying to make sure.
So I can just hand them out. I don't even have to worry.
She wants this hard. She wants to be hard.
You all know each other.
Can you shake the hand?
Oh, no, she just carried them all.
Got me working.
That's all right. I'm making sure. Oh, it's still on the right one. How you feel? All right, I think I got the right one. What's that? Oh, okay. That's the next one. No. Robinson, thank you, sir. I appreciate you.
Nice to put a face to the voice. We spoke a couple times on the phone. Nice to meet you.
Congratulations on your business. Let me make sure it's the right one. Yep.
Thank you very much. Pleasure meeting you.
That's the right one. I'm on.
Hope that wasn't bad luck.
Oh, please. Because the end of the day,
I know we have I got it. We better figure it out.
already separated. I think they've already separated.
Congratulations, sir.
You look nice.
No, this is Easter weekend. We can only get it in.
But you don't have Easter colors. Gotta have yellow.
No.
Thank you. Thank you.
In Boston.
Yes, first. Thank you.
Thank you.
You know that. Thank you.
Hey, honey.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks. You got it. Pat? So I'm playing dual roles today, as you can see. I'm pretty good. Got it? We'll let you introduce your guy over here.
All right. Wow. I think you have enough to cover your walls, all of you. You can cover at least one good wall with certificates. Exactly, if you need it, yes. So next, I want to actually introduce my boss, and that is Pat Whalen, who's the Chief Operating Officer at the Buffalo Niagara Medical Campus.
Thank you. What a nice evening. Congratulations to all you. This is really fun for me to attend. And I know Oku has worked hard on this, and she's kept us up to speed at staff meetings every week and tell us about the meetings you guys have had, and I know how hard you've worked. So the good news is that I'm here in place of Bill Joyce. You saw him in the video, and the reason that's good news is because I'll talk a lot less than Bill Joyce would. And I know I'm between you and the reception. So again, congratulations. I think if I was to say one thing out of all the really inspired talks I heard tonight, it would be what Alex said. The medical campus is all about collaboration. UB, Roswell, Kaleida have all been around for well over 100 years, and they all did really good things. But I don't think anybody ever saw anything like what's happening on this campus now until these guys got together and collaborated. And that's what I think your program is all about. It's what Alex talked about. It's the collaboration you can get by when leaders get together and decide they're going to do something. And one of the leaders is on our board, Dr. Tripathi. And the people that make up our board truly are leaders. They all have their own institutions. They all have their own goals and missions of those institutions. But when they get together as part of the Buffalo Niagara Medical Campus, they decide that they're going to collaborate, and you can see the results right outside the door. So we're looking for the same kind of results in the Fruit Belt. And so I congratulate you. And the last thing I think on the agenda is for me to award this gigantic check. The mayor's going to interrupt.
No. I would just like to put the rumor to rest officially right now. I am not the mayor of Buffalo, New York, if you haven't noticed it. But he is here, but he said he doesn't need to speak. He understands this is your day. So we're going to continue with the check presentation, but he will make sure that he actually shakes off your hands.
The real mayor's
The real mayor.
Oh, no, I don't think we should wait. Mayor Brown, come on up and say it.
Good evening, everyone. I want to recognize UB President Satish Tripathi and Ellicott District Council Member Darius Pridgen, Legislator Tim Hogues, and the folks at the Buffalo Niagara Medical Campus who have worked with members of the community to organize this training and to organize, working with you, this activity in the community. I am very pleased and proud to be here to salute you, to congratulate you for taking the time to go through this program that helps make you more active participants and stewards of your own community. Now, I heard that before I came in, there was a gentleman impersonating me. I am the real mayor, and very pleased to be here with you. Very thankful that we have citizens like you who are working to make a difference in the community, because those of us in government, those of us at the university level, the college level, and other sectors of the community can't continue and make all of the progress that we want to make without working with the people. But when we all work together, we can make this the kind of community that we all want it to be. So again, congratulations. This is your day. Thank you very much.
We're just going to present to the whole group.
All right, well, congratulations, and look forward to going to the event that you use this for as a collaborative effort. Congratulations.